surprise, motherfuckers.
Hello, hello. Hey, John McConnell. Hey, DJ. Wait, DJ? DG? Sorry. Hey, KF. How's it going, guys? Let's see. I need to do a few things here. First, I need to check out why my palette cam isn't working. As always. We like our traditions here. Also, let me know if the music is too loud. Should be okay, but you know, just in case. Hey, and Vermilion. Let's see, where's my palette cam? Hey, Ian. How long do you plan to stream today? 17 hours. Thank you, Sebastian, for following my YouTube. But KF, you can still paint. Meanwhile, where the hell's my palette? God damn it. Oh, here it is. Why are you not showing? Hey, Adam. Oh, okay, here we are. Why is it? Oh no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. So, is it really worth it to invest a lot of money for a palette cam? I don't think so. But yeah, so we will have to put up with this all the time. But yeah, we are apparently set. Thank you, Jones, for following my YouTube. Thank you, thank you. Again, let me know if the music is too loud. I can't really tell. Hey, Lupo. Right. But yeah, I honestly don't know. Maybe. So the longest I technically can stream is 4 hours. I have to. So since I'm probably not getting a teacher job, since I only got one job interview this application round, and they said no, we took someone else. Not expecting to get any other invitations. So since that is a thing, I'm doing a few things. Darkwing, thanks a lot for the follow. Wait, why is this so loud? Why though? Oh, I didn't want to do that. That's for sure. Cookies, yeah, I like your cookies. Okay. Style is back. Oh my god, all these technical problems. that's better. Waldorf and Statler, what's up, guys? Hey, Kessler. Wait. Kessler? I'm confused.
The most important thing is money.
Oh, but you were teaching. Perfect, you're a
Thanks a lot, Ian. Thanks for the super chat. Much appreciated. I mean, yeah, I am teaching, and it would be all good, you know, if I could make a living off of it. I mean, I'm working on it, but there need to be so many factors. You know, the Patreon needs to pick up, and the workshops need to finally happen. I'm gonna do a local workshop in maybe 2 months, since we are moving to. Yeah, that's when I'm going to start doing workshops properly, because I can't really organize them. Oh wow, Cujo painting, thanks a lot. Welcome back to the Major League. Thank you, Cujo. Much appreciated. So yeah, guys, if you don't know Cujo, obviously he's a YouTuber here, well, on YouTube. So if you haven't checked him out yet, definitely go and do it. So yeah, if anyone is from Vienna, definitely contact me about these workshops. It's going to be primary brush control. And yeah, sorry guys, I'm always doing a bit of, how would you call it, housekeeping in the beginning of these streams. So just talking about what is going on and what is going to come up with all my outlets, you know, all my videos. I also have a couple of new busts, well actually 2 busts that are at the caster at the moment, and they are probably as always going to be Patreon first, so I have 30 copies, and the patrons are going to get first dibs. But I was saying, hold up, Jones, hi, coming back to miniature painting from a 15-year drought. I'm struggling with the consistency of my paint. 5 layers is still showing my black undercoat. What paint brand are you using, Jones? But yeah, not gonna get a teaching job. What did I wanted to go with that? I forgot. So many things happening all at once. Oh yeah, I am teaching. Yeah. So it would all be good if, you know, if it would take off a bit more, then everything would be fine. Then I wouldn't have to bother with even applying to these teaching jobs. So don't get me wrong, I consider this teaching, and I know that I'm doing it decently well. So yeah, that's why I said, you know, teaching job, blah blah blah. But yeah, you know. Right, see, let me catch up on the chat. Best Hungarian stream ever? Okay, so take it, the music is fine, right guys? Not too loud, not too silent. Hey Marcos, greetings back to Brazil, how's it going? You were planning more stuff, you were saying. Oh yeah, and I have these, the busts coming out, so it's slowly starting to pick up again. So hopefully we're going to be able to sell a few of these. Yeah, that's like, you know, helping for 1 month too. Yeah. If you want to check out, definitely go check out my homepage, Trovarian.com. You can get, you know, all kinds of things there. My busts are there for sale. You can get the t-shirts that support me. You can of course get the painting tutorials. There's an index there for all the tutorials. And what else is there? Yeah, there's a link to my Patreon. So if you like the videos, definitely consider supporting me with like $1. It goes really a long way. If, you know, 1,000 people did that, then I would be, you know, it would just be so much better off. and not having to worry about getting all these other jobs. So let's go back to this. Why is this so dramatic? Next. Yeah, so I'm going to go back to the recipe for the armor. I started with some dryad bark the last time. Dryad bark, I think I also had rhinoxide there. Just for the sake of, you know, having a more reddish, intense color. If we needed it. Oh, that's a bit... Oh, it works. Then I definitely had black. So let's go for that. One question, do you think that worn navy paint from Reaper Paints is the equivalent of blue navy? Wow. See, can you... I think you are on my Discord, right? Can you send me a message about that? I can look it up for you because I have them. I just need to go dive into my collection, and I don't know where I have them. So I have a couple of blues here, but I don't think I can actually find the navy blue, and I definitely don't have the scale color out. So can you write me a PM on Discord? I think there's a link below the stream. At least there should be. But there isn't. Huh, there should be a link. Anyway, going to fix that quickly. Invite people. We need a link that never runs out and has no limit. Wait. No limit, never runs out, generates. Oh, it's hidden, okay. Right, join my Discord. Server. Yeah, so it's below the stream. It should be visible in a second. Yeah, just go there and join up and ask me that question again in a PM. Because right now I can't really answer that question. Sorry. But I'm definitely going to. My D&D Painter starter kit is called Nalroz, but I'm assuming I'm thinking it too little. I have no idea about the D&D paint starter kit. I have never heard of that. Sorry. But I mean, if it's, you can definitely just thin your paints a bit. You don't have to. On your first layer, you don't have to water them down to oblivion. So maybe it is that, yeah, it could definitely be. Right, so we finally can get set up here. And continue, right, we also need... I also had leather whites, I remember that. As a more neutral off-white, and then I had ice yellow. But yeah guys, if you have any questions, feel free to ask them. Like I said, if I can't answer them here, I'm going to just ask you to send me a PM. And then I'll do my best to answer them if I can't really answer them now. Okay, ivory, and then I also had Memnor, welcome back to the Major League. Thank you. Thanks a lot. Is it resubscription time already for you? The month is flying by always. Thanks a lot, Memnor. No problem, thanks against the UPM. Okay, great. You used one Navy Reaper when you painted the Noise Marine. Yeah, I did, but honestly can't remember how the scale color blue looks. I would be lying to you if I told you anything right now, because I really don't remember how it looks. So I don't want to talk or, you know, say things that are not really true. Okay, and we are good to go. Just want to fix one thing that I kind of noticed needed fixing. So this area here needs more highlights. Yeah, we should be on cam. Then overall, I really like the color that we achieved. Overall, two things. I think I want to make a couple of areas brighter. So like this. And then I want to make a couple of areas darker. For example, I want to bring these back here more in line with this. Yeah, that's a good example. So I also want to make this brighter. Sorry, kind of jumping around, but that is what we're going to do today. Just touching up a few of these areas, and then we're going to move on to some other area. So that's the plan, and I hopefully I can finish the armor today, more or less. That is the goal for today. The D&D army, start set is army painter. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I don't really recommend army painter. I know that a lot of people don't want to hear that, or, you know, it's a very popular brand in the US, especially, which it's never good to say that I don't like some of those more popular brands. They tend to have opacity problems. But yeah, it is what it is. When I tried them, I didn't really like them. But that's a while back, obviously. But yeah, like I said, in generally, I don't really like them. Never really liked how they behaved, and they definitely had a weird opacity. because it's a bit difficult to find the right color that I used for the shadows. Might need to redo the shadows. So let's just do this. I don't want to call it non-metallic necessarily. It's going to have the illusion of a very shiny, bright, reflective white, that's for sure. So I guess we could say, yeah, it's going to be all in that style. And the gold is definitely going to be non-metallic. Said the other time when I was streaming that I don't want to spend too much time on it, which I'm kinda... Yeah, we will see if that really happens. Well, I don't want to spend the whole 20 hours on this, that's what I said. We will see. We can manage to do that. But I just want to get a few things in order before we move on. So I don't really have a base color. Maybe I should mix that. Definitely had a bit of blue in there. So this is going to be my shadow color. A custard. Oh, Custodes. Yeah, I'm going to do a, how are they called? Solar guard, marine, a solar guard Custodes. So it's not going to be all golden, but there's going to be golden elements. This is almost too bright. Let's tone that down a bit. Are you gonna demonstrate some panel lining for us today? So the problem when that discussion came up, I was so confused because of, you know, panel lining, dark lining, edge highlighting, everything kinda melted together into a single thing. Or not a single thing, but it was hard to distinguish what people were talking about. But funnily enough, I do have a video about edge highlighting that I want to, you know, put out sort of as an evergreen video, so that, you know, it's more of a go-to. I mean, obviously I want people to see my channel as a go-to thing when it comes to anything miniature related. So I have recorded a video about edge highlighting that I still need to edit, and I was going to release it this month. Hopefully. Yeah, I was going to say earlier that I can't really stream longer than 4 hours today. We'll see. I mean, I typically don't anyway. But, you know, sometimes when it's fun, of course I go longer. But I have a phone call later with... And that's what I was going to say, or where I was headed. Since I can't really get a teacher job this this year, or at least I don't expect that anything will happen in that regard. I need to do a few things that, you know, how would you say it? Or how do you say it in English when you are trying to acquire skills that will make it more interesting for people to hire you? How do you call that? So I've been phoning a few institutions that are providing services like that, and so I'm going to try and get some degrees. And there's a particular course that I want to do that already it didn't start, but it's somewhat booked out, but they might still have a room for me, or might have room for me, or a spot for me. So I need to do a phone call application, and that's what I'm going to have to do in about 4 hours. That's why I can't really stream longer. Just curious, do you have any experience with contrast paints over metallic bases? I'm looking for a lazy way to paint metallic looking black. I have neither the time nor the skill to paint black like you did with the Evident Metal Black Templar. I don't have any experience with it. I can only tell you what I saw people do. And, I mean, the question is, what do you want to achieve? If you just want something that looks black and metallic, then yeah, that definitely works. That definitely works, and I would just try it. However, I also kind of want to add that you probably don't need contrast paint for that. You can just use you can just do metallics and use the Devil and Matte or Battle Black stuff. Contrast paints might be easier, but I am not... Yeah, you would need to try it, because that is, in my opinion, a super personal experience, whether or not it's going to be easier or faster or, you know, worse. So, honestly, I think you will probably have to try it yourself. That said, you would probably only need, since you don't need the base coats, you'll just need 1 or 2 colors, just to have some variation in there. And yeah, and you're going to be set, since you don't need the base coats, like I said. Going to have a better time with less money invested. So yeah, it is just a question of whether or not you like the results, I guess. I mean, it definitely works. If you ask me whether or not you're going to get a result of something that looks metallic and still kind of black. Certifications, training, yeah, something like that. Acquiring different skill sets. It's something like that, I guess. But you guys understood what I meant. My end goal would be a look of 30k Dark Angels from the Heresy book. I don't know that, sorry. Paint black with a weathering-like effect on the worn ceramide showing through. Not sure how to describe the picture. How do you have the picture? Maybe it's online. I mean, again, it's kind of, it's this might sound stupid, but people have certain expectations, And even if, you know, if I said, yeah, I have 30 hours tried with the exact thing that you are asking. I did like all the colors over metal. It would still come down to what your expectations are, and they might be super different from what I find interesting or, you know, good enough even. I know that people, and I'm not saying you want to, but a lot of people kind of want to hear, yeah, it's going to work, and then they get into it and just try it themselves anyway, and then it's all good because they were kind of already expecting that it works. So it's just more like self-fulfilling prophecy type stuff. But I don't want to lie to people, you know, and promise them everything is gonna be all right without, you know, being honest. So it's kind of hard to find the balance here. Should probably not overdo it. I guess we are somewhat in line, so let's move on to something else maybe. I'm just going to mix a bit of a base color here again. So a slight blue tint. Let's just base coat a few things with that. And then move on. Or continue with the highlighting. So I also want to do these parts. Maybe that should be gold, I don't know, we will see. Let's do it like that first. Can always make it gold if it looks better. Just do these insides. Yeah, you can, if you have a link, you can always put it into the chat, and I can just click it. Got an entire box of Marines just to experiment. Well, there you go. Oh yeah, it will definitely look somewhat like that. I mean, I can guarantee you that if you're using Bada Black and what is the Devlin mod, something like that, just a mix maybe, it's definitely going to come out like that. You will definitely have to water down some of the contrast paints. By watering down, I mean use some of the medium that they also sell you, just so that it doesn't cover everything, especially for the, where is it? So especially for these parts here, the brighter parts, you will definitely have to dilute them with the medium a lot. But again, I would say you don't really need contrast paints for that. Honestly, you could get away with the normal washes that I have. But yeah, I mean, 1 or 2 pots are not going to make you poor, and the medium is, it's like, what is it? 18 euros, maybe $20, $21, something like that. So yeah, if you definitely try it, I can see it working. My other idea was to just do a plain black base and dry brush on the damage. Yeah, you could also do that. It's definitely not going to look as good. If you have, you know, the silver below or the steel color or the metallics below and do washes over them. Let's see, let's pull that up again. Yeah, you're going to have to get these effects better. So because it's going to cover unevenly, you will definitely get these results here. Like, yeah, so this uneven distribution of color, you're going to get that a lot better. And then you can still dry brush the edges, you know, and get this more contrasting effect on the edges. All depends how much you want to invest, but it's definitely not going to look as good if you were just dry brushing over black. I can tell you as much. Another thing you can try is, yeah, just dry brush over black and then give it a single wash with Bada Black or something like that. That could even look better. Hi, welcome. I tried with the washes on a silver base. That sounds nice and not too complicated. Indeed, and you also don't have to spend any extra money, which is also a plus. Hey Marty, doing no metallic black. Armor is hard. Yeah, we were talking about metallics and how to achieve a similar look. It's gonna be fine. But I would say it definitely will look better if you don't just dry brush it. I can tell you as much. And you know, a wash is not going to make that much time difference, and it's going to make it it's going to make it look so much better for the amount of time invested. Not saying he should just paint it non-metallic all the way. That would be counterproductive. Okay, this lag is definitely not used or not good for a camera to be painted on camera. I'm looking forward to when I get my basement studio, because then the paint doesn't dry in during summer and so on. It's kind of crazy. Okay, we touched that. I didn't want that. Why am I off camera? It's weird. Yeah, I'm also looking forward to painting all these non-metallic gold parts. Well, not all of them, but you know, at least the first part. Then it's going to... then I'm going to be sad I have to paint so many more. But these parts here that are really geometrical. Going to be a pain in the butt, but it's also going to be fun. Yeah, but he doesn't need coverage. He doesn't need full coverage over the metallics. He just needs some of that area to be covered. And trust me, I have done enough metallic stuff with the normal washes that I know it's going to work. But yeah, I mean, if it tries it and he feels like, no, that's not looking good, then you can always try something else. That's the beauty of it. You're not doomed when your first approach doesn't work. You just look at it and you're analyzing what the problem is, and then you are changing something. Ideally, you're going to have analyzed what the problem is, and you're going to change the right thing. Yeah, there's a couple of approaches. Obviously, I would recommend trying. You know, if you have an expectation on how it should look, I would definitely try to achieve that look first, to get as close to as possible, and then you can reevaluate. Okay, how long did that take, and is that justified? Or should I streamline something, speed something up, and have it, you know, maybe look a tiny bit worse? Or how much worse is acceptable for me? But I would definitely not start low and, you know, aim low. That's... You can always adjust downwards. So I'm going to... Yeah, I'm going to paint these parts as silver, not silver, but more like steel non-metallic. That's why I'm covering it with this color, since we will, or it just means like I'm, oh, English is hard. It just ties both colors together a bit better. I don't want to introduce, you know, just a desaturated gray for the base color of the non-metallic. That way, again, we have a more uniform look of the colors. I think I'll do a lot of these parts just white, and then these exhaust stuff. We'll see. Maybe I can also do the very end of the exhaust vents white, and then do the how would you call them? These parts either way up here gold. That can look good. That's a couple of things. I definitely need more base color here, I just realized. Hey Joseph, what have you missed? Not much. I just corrected, quote unquote, a few things down here and just brought it more in line with the rest. It might still need some tweaking, but it will get better when I started some new areas, so you didn't miss all that much so far. I just know that I'm never ever going to touch another Custodes after this. There was so many parts. And there's just so many details. Going to have a headache in a bit here. I can definitely tell. I mean, I guess I get why people like them, but they don't suit my painting style at all. So, because whenever there's so many details, I kind of get lost in them. Just because they are there. And typically, I want to go. I really like miniatures that just have large surfaces to, you know, to interpret as whatever I want them to. And all these details feels like I have to spend so much time on them. Looks like no metallic time sink. Yeah, I also, exactly. I don't want to just do metallics. I mean, again, there's nothing wrong with doing metallics. I just personally like to, again, it's part of the interpretation of a figure where the non-metallic helps, where it gives you more opportunities. So that's why I prefer non-metallic metal, personally. But it gets super hard on all these details. Giant time sink. Because up here we're going to have red just below the eagle. And the eagle itself is going to be non-metallic gold. And then we have this white. It's going to be legendary. 3.5 million hours later. Should the whole thing... No, we're not going to make the whole thing golden. The white is going to look good enough, I guess. Painted 10 of these Custodes in black recently. I'm fine and don't want to quit painting at all. Good for you. I know that I want to. I will never paint another Custodes. That's what I get for asking YouTube to decide the next model. Hey Piper. Yeah, it's my own fault. But who would have guessed? I mean, then again, I should have guessed. Actually, the Custodes didn't win properly, but people were requesting, I don't remember what exactly, but just something with black armor, like a Raven Guard, I think was the most requested. But since I already did a Black Templar, it's kind of useless to do another Black Marine. It would just be the same thing on a different model, and that's why I went for the second pick. And it was, I don't know, maybe... So I was counting the likes and the comments. And I think Custodes had 5 comments and 35 likes. And I don't know if it was Raven Guard, but whatever Black Marine it was had 50 or 65, sorry, likes and mentions. And then the next thing only had like 10 or so. I think Eldar Harlequins were third, but first and second place were like, I don't know, 85% of the mentions. And then another thing is we didn't even get to 100 to 100 comments within the first 24 hours, so technically I'm not really bound to what I said. Or you know, that I would paint the suggestion. But then again, I only have 18k subscribers, so I gotta take what I can, you know, to run with, I guess. See you later, Dom. Main issue is they took kind of they look kind of manageable, but details just don't end once you start painting them. That's true. I can already tell as much. What's going on here? There's some armor on top of something else. Great. Just want a consistent base coat. So there's a gem right down here. That's glorious. Good idea. It's a bit brighter than the other colors. Yeah, just going to apply all the base color, and then we're going to pick out one spot where we're going to continue. Also not looking forward to painting all of these here. All this detail work on the pike. Always using up that base color so quickly. Right, and again, I don't want to start off of just pure gray. Just so, I mean, gray looks really boring most of the time. so I definitely want some interesting whites here, and it's going to be composed out of this blue-brown base color. And then, yeah, then we're going to see where we take this. What route we take this. Hey DZV, how's it going? Why are you progressively adding on the grays instead of just one layer of gray? What am I doing? Why are you progressively adding on the grays instead of just one layer of gray? Oh, because I mean, if I do this like once, gotta do it a bit more sloppy than I usually do, but you can see that, you know, just one layer is not covering. There's still some black shining through, so I leave this to dry, because if I just went over this again, actually, yeah, it still won't work, right? So I still have these black areas, so I need this to dry, and then I can go over it again, and it's a consistent layer that I can work off of. I want a consistent layer to work off of. You don't typically, I mean, you can get away with a sloppy base coat, but sometimes I do it and then I kind of regret it. So that's why I'm paying some extra attention here. I mean, down here I really don't care because no one's going to see it. But yeah, on the more visible areas I want to do that. Like here, for example. So this is dry, but you can still see the black base coat shining through. So I'm going to give it another pass. And then we're going to start highlighting once everything is covered. Just kinda hate that. I need so much color. Soon we should be good. Here in South Spain I'm having to use a lot of retarder medium for the paint not to dry at almost 40 degrees Celsius. Yeah, I know your pain. The problem is that the retarder medium changes the properties of the color. I try to avoid that as much as possible, and also yeah, here it's just the problem is mainly that I need so much paint. The problem is that it's just such a large model, or you know, and such a large area that I want to cover this, that I have to mix it again. It's not I mean, obviously the heat contributes, but the main problem is that it's just such a large model, or you know, and such a large area that I want to cover. So that's my main problem at the moment. I don't know what this is. Oh, okay, this is some dangling thing. But yeah, guys, I'm going to try and get to 50 subscribers again in July, so that we can get the extra emote that affiliates are allowed. So we are currently at 36. If you have a Twitch Prime lying around and don't need it, or haven't spent it anywhere else, I would totally appreciate it if you were throwing it my way this month, just so that I can, you know, get the 5th emote slot, and then we don't have to make any more drives for subscribers. Why is it playing that song again? How's my Ever Chosen entry coming along? It's going good. It's you know, the gray is almost finished. Have a bit of this light green beige down here that is yeah, that is totally juicing up, making it look more interesting, and I almost finished assembling it too. So yeah, it's going good. It's going good. I need more time in the day. Next time you see me starting to paint a Smurf, tell me to paint something else instead. Why do you hate it, Paul? I mean, I was surprised that you did, honestly. After you finished your first one, that you were just jumping into it right again. Or again right away. I mean, the model is nice, don't get me wrong, but it's another Space Marine, or you know, another Ultramarine. I didn't know what's going on there. Fat. Oh, thank you, Faz, for resubscribing. Much appreciated. Welcome back to the Major League. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, sorry I have to ask for this, but it's now we have, like, we need 13 more, and then, like I said, I don't think, unless we can find a way to do something cool with subscribers, or you know, give something cool back to subscribers, and I cannot get any more emotes after that. So I mean, typically emotes is what streamers can give back, but I'm trying to do something else. Yeah, until we find something that I feel is more interesting, I don't think I'm going to do any more drives for subscribers beyond that. I mean, obviously I won't say no, but you get what I mean. Especially since a lot of people support me on Patreon already. It would kind of be a lot to ask them to subscribe as well, so that's my point. Okay, can we go from here? I think so. I think so. Let's mix. Oh. What did I have here? I think just in Cubic Darkness. Some more of that letter white. Pro painted. There is an actual emote that we have. Wait, is this going to show? Oh, there you go. Adam has it anyway. Yeah, exactly. Oh, I also need some black. Black, 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 black. Yeah, honestly, I thought that would draw a lot more people, that emote. But it didn't quite do. It didn't quite, yeah, do as expected. But it's just the nature of social media. It's hard to predict what is going to do good and what isn't. Okay, let's just plain start here again. Kind of hard to show that to the camera. I'm just going to go for a really similar pattern as over here again. Yeah, as far as painting position goes, I wish I could paint down here and just put my hands on the table. And then everything would be better with the focus and so on, but then I would also probably need a spine replacement in 3 years. So sorry for the occasional focus step. Oh, by the way, I did talk to Vince, and we already scheduled an interview for this month, so it's gonna be fun. Maybe I'll try to ask him back on my podcast. Just need to, since I don't just do character portraits, we will kind of have to figure out something we want to talk about, but yeah, it should be interesting. Okay, let's focus on this part down here. That's awesome. What is the Vince part or the painting? The idea is good, but the execution, it's difficult to read. Okay. Yeah, I guess. I don't know how else to make it, honestly. Can't really afford to have, someone else draw it for the money. But Maybe I can look into it again and analyze what the problem is. This is really, really blue. I guess we should switch a bit more towards gray. Yeah, sorry for the kids outside again. You know it. There is a playground in front of my window. So if the kids are too loud, let me know. Emoticon's too hard to read? Okay. I'll look into it. Also, I don't know, it looks fine on my screen, so maybe... Are you all on mobile? You guys not have phones? However the insert mantra goes. Oh wait, that's the wrong way around. Hey Morth. The kids give the video some feel. I guess. Are you using a black background for this? Or black, wait, what do you mean? Oh, black, yeah, I'm using dark mode for Twitch. Yep. Yep. You maybe have answered this question 10,000 times, but the dilution is done with water or something else. No, it's just water. So, yeah, the important thing is how much to dilute your color and how much color you have on your paint, and you're going to, you know, the only way to get to that point is to experiment and yeah, just paint and switch up your dilutions and see what works best for you. Took me a long time to get to this point. Now that I say it, and now we're back on track. But one other thing is that so for value differences that are not too large, it's actually easier to highlight, right? The more value you add, the more I want to say white, but obviously you're not typically not adding pure white to your colors, but just colors of brighter value or higher value. The more difficult it gets to get smooth transitions. Also, don't forget that. Yeah, don't really use anything else. It's just water, and like I said, it's more about learning how to control your brush than anything else. Hey, Mr. Finley, I'm doing okay, thank you. I don't know, I've been editing the whole day and I feel like nothing got done, which of course isn't true, but if you work the whole day and there's no video at the end of the day, it's kind of like, was that a day well spent? But I mean, I know it is, but it just feels weird. It's kind of weird. I mean, kids are getting tired, right? And they're starting to whine. It's a typical day. Story of my life during summer. I don't get it. My kid is just crying the whole time. I'm not staying on that playground with it. I'm going home. Hold on. We have a bit of overheating during summer for the camera. Sorry. My dilution is fairly okay for what I'm doing, but on screen it seems smooth. Maybe the paint itself is reacting different between brands. What am I using? I'm using Vallejo's too. I mean, I'm using a mix of all of them. So this one is Vallejo, that's my highlight color that I'm mixing into these colors. It's not so much the brand. You know, brand color has not a lot of influence on opacity unless we're talking about scale 75 colors. Those behave way different than most other colors like Vallejo or Reaper or Citadel or P3. Those all kind of behave in the same way. But trust me, it is just knowing how to dilute it and how much. I mean, you see that I just have the experience with the brush. It's with everything else. I could probably not do what someone who was using an airbrush for a decade can do right away, right? And again, it's as we progress through these value changes, you're going to see that not everything is going to be as smooth as this. I can already guarantee you that there will be some parts that are not going to look as smooth. Perfect smoothness is a bit of an illusion that people are chasing with miniature painting. And I know there is, you know, there is a lot of people that tell you, yeah, you should not even strive for smoothness, which I personally always tell beginners, don't chase it right away. It's going to come with experience. So I'm not saying don't ever try to paint smooth, but just don't get discouraged over your paint not looking as smooth in the beginning as you want it to. It's all going to come with experience. If you paint a lot and analyze whether or not, you know, you are at a point where you like your dilution and opaqueness and consistency, just always keep an open mind and see what you could change. Analyze what you could change. It's really the only way, really. It's really the only way, really. Nice. Hey Kurat. Turned out I didn't have the code, so I'm back. Welcome back. Just alluded to glaze consistency, and you just have to repeat and repeat and repeat. Yeah. So, but there's still a balance, right? There, you can get to an opaqueness that is not just, you know, I feel like, you know, that is a consistency that's not just glaze consistency. It's a bit of a middle ground between a layer and a glaze, and I feel like that is going to just, or you know, I want to use a lot of layers simply because I like a certain amount of smoothness, and I feel like that's a good trade-off between moving somewhat fast and still getting somewhat smooth results. Personally, I was using a lot more layers in the past. A lot more glaze layers, you know. Which again, it's all personal preference. I use very diluted paint, see how translucent it is on his fingernail. Yeah. I mean, again, it is. This is one pass, right? It has that certain opaqueness, but it has also enough translucency in combination with how I move the pigments and where they end up. I have a Patreon video about that, by the way. Join my Patreon, join my Patreon. Yeah, so it's a combination of that, and that is why, yeah, where experience kicks in. Or comes in. And it's always, so that's why I really want to start to get going with my painting workshops. Since this is something that, you know, when you show someone how to paint, or, you know, if I can look at someone and see how they paint, you know, if they want to achieve what I do, then I can tell them what they need to change in a, you know, a personal way. That's always better than to, still, if you watch me, you're going to get a glimpse of what I do. But if I can show you while you paint what I would change to achieve what I do, you know, that's always going to be 100 times better. I worded that really complicated, but I guess you understand what I mean. At least I hope. So I'm going to implement a few different brush strokes to cover up the transitions here. Sometimes I see a nice smooth painting and I realize, oh no, it's airbrushed. Okay. It's good consistency for blending at least. If after a few seconds it's already dry. Yeah, that definitely helps. I tend to dilute to almost glaze with some colors, but yeah, I've been working on my transition since 5 to 6 months, still trying to find my middle ground. Yeah, you're going to have to practice. I would say it takes people at least, so if you are painting every day, it takes people one year at least to go somewhere where they have smooth or somewhat smooth transitions, and then they have just practiced smoothness, right? But painting is so much more about also contrast and other things. Thank you, man. You can always work up layers thickness to build the colors harder to go the other way around. Yeah, you can also, you know, paint in thicker, more opaque layers and then just work on the transitions. Did you just say that? You can always work on layers thickness to build the colors harder again. Ah, no. Yeah, so just build the contrast and then work on the transitions after you build your value differences. Sometimes that is easier to do than, you know, working with a million glazes. Which again, to me it is fun to paint really diluted and trying to get those super smooth results, but it's not always fun. Or sometimes you want to move faster, and yeah. I mean, I honestly, I really like painting for gold demons, for example, and trying to achieve that smoothness that they are looking for, you know, almost perfection that they're looking for. Saying that, yeah, it's not always what they're looking for, but it's at least what they say they are looking for. You know, sometimes you just get lucky and hit what they want to see, and you know, then they can say, yeah, that just embodies what Warhammer is about. Here, have a Slayer sword. And it's not really what they tell you when you sign up, because what they tell you when you sign up is just paint something great and consistent, and you're gonna be good to go. And then you see things that win where you're like, okay, where's the consistency again? Where's the greatness? But you also realize that, yeah, this one because it just embodies what, I don't know, goblins are, because it's a nice diorama and it has, you know, so much green on it, and oh, I really like it. But yeah. You mean like the patron views sessions? I mean in what? I am confused. Okay, let's see. Where do I put my highlights here? Let's put it on that side. Would you say a good way for a total beginner to start would be to paint the piece one color and add highlights and shadows? Let me try to understand that. Paint the piece one color. Oh, so like just paint everything in gray. So in this case, just paint all. So in this case, I would be painting the eagle gold, but instead you're just, you know, doing the same gray that I did down here. Is that what you mean? And then just shade and highlight. I'm not sure about that. I mean, it could be good practice to get good at, you know, one single color, but every color is kind of different when it comes to how you create value on them. So reds are totally different different to understand than red. Wait, reds are different to understand and to master than yellows, for example. And then grays are also super hard, and what you want to do is not actually maybe paint gray, but something in between. And yeah, that is also a big thing with painting. It's not just about creating smooth gradients. So when you can do smooth gradients with one color, that also doesn't mean you can do smooth gradients with another color. Personally, I would just paint whatever models you enjoy painting, and when you're done painting, look at it, and you know, even if you hate it, just consider it practice. I didn't do anything else. I hated every single model I painted, probably during the first 10 years of painting. It's just because you want to get better, but what are you going to do? Never finish a model, always practice? That's boring too. So what I did, I just painted the models I wanted to paint, accepted that I would suck for a couple of years, and then yeah, just analyze what I could do better with every miniature I painted, and eventually I kind of started liking my stuff. I would not get too caught up in, you know, having the pressure of having to produce perfect stuff right away, and it's not going to happen, and it's just going to take away your fun. You don't want that. Just enjoy, you know, just look at your stuff. Don't look at the things. I mean, obviously you should look at the things you don't like to get better, but also don't leave out the stuff that you really like, where you improved, and focus on that a bit more maybe than analyzing the bad things. Wow, off cam the whole time. Just popped in the to say SCP Scots, give it some thought. What? Oh, you were talking about, yeah, I mean, sure, but the problem with the feedback sessions is not everyone knows their camera properly, and you know, In person it is 100% better. Obviously it's one step up from just describing to you how to paint, if I can see you painting, but a lot of people don't really have their camera set up properly, and then it's kind of hard to tell, you know, the fine tuning is definitely always going to work better in reality. Let me just catch up on chat. I don't double X2 dealer. I don't know what you mean. Just popped in, I guess, to say SCP sculpts. Give it some thought. What about SCP sculpts? Sorry if this was already asked. Don't worry, just ask anything. That's what I'm here for. How do you know where the light dark areas go? The light and dark areas go where I want them to go. There's no knowing. I mean, you know, you can study. Let's see, do I have... Oh, let's do some... Oh yeah, I really want a sponsorship by Red Bull. Do you think that's ever going to work? Anyway, you see, just if you analyze a cylinder, a metallic cylinder, there is this reflection here that I would consider the brightest reflection, and then there's a secondary light here. That's probably due to how my lights are positioned, right? But they kind of stay the same as I move them around. So what I do is in every... So that's just minimalizing what I do when I analyze this, right? But just take the most obvious stuff, 2 reflections on a cylinder, and what I do is I just paint 2 reflections on a cylinder, like this, and then I have yeah, probably I'm going to make this one wider, probably, so that they are not too similar. As it curves down again, I have another one that is a bit of a bounce side, and I do the same here. Yeah, probably I'm going to make this one wider, probably, so that they are not too similar. But yeah, just what I do is I pick out a line that goes from up here, because this is a cylinder, this is a cylinder, this is a cylinder. So the line that goes starts here, I continue it going down here, and then I continue it here, and then I continue it here, and then I just paint in a credible way the other lines around, and it just has to look credible. There's no realistic in non-metallic metal. There's just good interpretations and credibility. I mean, sure, if you were so the thing is, if you say my light source is here, then you are, you know, here back in the back, then your front is going to look pretty boring, because it's gonna be mostly shadow. And sure, you can do it, but it's never going to be realistic the way that we paint non-metallic and we paint the same intensity here in the front. Sorry. And then we turn it around and paint it the same intensity here. It's just a form of interpretation, so don't worry too much about being correct or being wrong. Again, it's just put paint on the miniature, and yeah, just try to analyze real life and how it looks and how to mimic it to where you can credibly replicate it. You're not going to be 100% correct every time. It's not going to happen. And the more you accept that, and the more you're just having fun without thinking too much, the better you're. Not only your results will be, the happier you will also be with your painting. I can only recommend that. Do you take a picture and bump up the contrast to see those areas and refer to it all? No, I don't. But of course you can do it, right? Just look at it. For example, so where you're never going to go wrong is if you look at a black base coat and just have a shiny light on it, and then you can see, okay, I definitely, if I do non-metallic, I definitely should probably paint a dark area here, right? This edge up here is my brightest part, and then I have a dark part, and then this part becomes bright again. However, what I'm going to do is I'm not just going to do that. I'm going to be interpreting this. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be painting a bright area here. Say a really bright area here, and then another bright area here, and then maybe another one here, or just one bright area here, and then another really bright area here, and then in between part. So simply because I want it to look more interesting. Is this realistic? It's probably not realistic, but then again, this is a power weapon. Is this going to be, you know, it doesn't exist. It can't be realistic. It can only be credible, and you can achieve that in a few ways, right? It's correct if you were just highlighting this, and then you keep this part dark, but it's also going to be credible the way I'm going to paint it. So yeah, I mean, how do you capture realism on a power fist or a power weapon? It doesn't exist. The good thing is you can interpret it the way you want it to, and I would focus on that. And whenever people come in, you know, people that play the game and do that a lot, oh, that's you know, blue is too dark for an ultramarine or whatever. Who cares? You don't have to look at it. I'm going to spend a lot of time painting these, and I have to look at them, and no one else has to, right? So keep that in mind. You're going to spend a lot of time with this, and no one else has to like it. Let me just have a drink while I catch up with chat. I think my beginner pieces are simple. It's just hard to know how to even begin. Just begin. Trust me. Just begin. Don't think too much. Don't be afraid of making mistakes. You can always paint over it. Trust me. You can paint over it. And you know, if there is a color shift in some area, I mean, is this lower half perfectly fitting this front half? I don't think so. It's a tiny bit off, right, if we analyze it, but who cares? I still had fun painting it, right? And yeah, if nobody's going to see it, I know it, and now you guys know it, but no one else is going to see it once I take the pictures. And if someone recognizes it and says there's a difference, I'm like, yeah, so he stole that part from someone else and now he's wearing it, and the other guy was not out in the sun as much as this guy was. So imagine where the light source is, then visualize how it would react on the surface you're painting. Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say, I mean, but that's kind of obvious, right? You're going to have brighter, you're going to go to white on the wings, and because it's gold, you're not going to go to white, but to an off-white only on the antlers, and then on the ropes you're definitely not going to white because it's red, and white is typically not in the hue unless it's super shiny and it reflects white directly. But don't get too caught up in thinking too much. I still think this is a good example, right? This would be correct in air quotes the way you see it here, but does it make my interpretation any less correct because I'm not just taking this one situation into account, but I just want it to look more interesting, and that's why I'm interpreting it as having multiple reflections, you know. So if I just did the right thing, I would probably, if I just did the right thing, the right thing as it shows on the black base coat, then I would just highlight everything that is in the upper half and maybe make this a bit darker, and then do everything dark in the lower half. And you're not going to get that on I mean, technically you could say a sword could look like that, but that would also be really, really boring. So I don't recommend putting too much thought into what is quote-unquote realistic, and just paint the way, you know, obviously you should not, you should have some basic knowledge of how an edge would react, but then it's up to you how to interpret it. My worst fear is painting bright white. I don't even want to try it. So do like I do. There's not a single stroke of white in this, and it still reads as white. The thing is, if you look at reality, there's only so little things that are truly white. If you look at clothing, there's so many shadows and, you know, light reflections and what is below that clothing, and I don't know, what are you standing next to? There's never just white, so just use whites scarcely, really. Don't use a lot of white. So if I wanted to increase the contrast, I could technically paint a bit of white in here. I would just touch the very high up areas. Yeah, just don't use that much white. The only reason or the only time when I use a lot of pure white is in non-metallics, simply because that's what you need for a super reflective material. Any plans for sculpting streams in the near future? Yeah, whenever I have time. I don't have time. I need to do Patreon stuff. I need to paint or do the Eavier and metal videos and so on. So can't really sculpt anymore these days. It also makes no money. It makes, I don't know, you know, if I do a bust and I can sell it to a company, then I sell maybe 12 copies, and you can do the math on how much that makes. It's just not worth it. Ambient occlusions, wow. Fancy, yeah, exactly. Need to start doing speed painting to get a Red Bull sponsorship. Yeah, sorry, the camera is cooling off again. Hopefully. If it's looking cool, then it's good. No one cares if albedo of your steel isn't realistic or something exactly. It's all sci-fi art, not realism art. I guess it's to a certain extent, because even in science fiction you will have materials that look like the materials we have now, but yeah. Should I base coat my piece? I'm starting with small white plastic bones miniatures. What? Wait. Oh, so you're talking, or you're asking if you should base coat your plastic miniature? You should definitely always base coat with a spray, or yeah, with a primer. Especially if you want to game with it after. What if the world, the mini is on, oh, has 2 suns? Yeah, then you're screwed. It's essentially a World of Warcraft style, but painted with the brush. Oh, the science fiction. Yeah, why not? Do I base coat with black or gray? You can do whatever. Either works. I just do black. Because it... Why? Yeah, because you... Let's take the extremes. So you can... If you base coat something black and you base coat it white, then with the black, obviously, I have some parts here that I won't be able to reach. And since I base coated it black, these are in the shadows and it's black. So if I base coated that with white, that would just shine through, and I would have to make sure that I have some color in there, and then it's getting annoying. But black is a bit more forgiving as far as, yeah, not having to dark line everything goes. So I always say just do black. It might need 1 or 2 layers more, the first coat of paint, but it's, in my opinion, it's worth it to not having to worry about these dark areas. But you can still use gray, and the end result is not that much different. Same thing applies. Don't worry too much. Did we just enter? No, we didn't. Sorry, just had to. Make sure we're good. Storm Great Games, thanks a lot for the follow. Welcome to the community. My internet is a potato, so I can't stream. Hopefully I can upgrade it to a turnip soon. Guys, did you hear? Miniac is coming back to streaming. Maybe. That said, I should probably do a casting show. I need my own John Ninas. Because the streams where they were painting together, that was kind of hilarious always. I think I might need to recruit Piper for that. Make him a bit less camera shy. That's a good idea. I don't know, right? So yeah, with the new studio coming up in September, I definitely want to do a couple nice things. That's hoping that I can settle in there pretty fast and get started again. Wait, what? I was just joking. You're going to be too far away anyway after we moved. You can start with a drunk painting video with Piper to take the edge off. God damn it. What have you become, YouTube? What have you become? I should probably finish this leg. Let's see, I want a bit more of that ice yellow. And then we move right into paint eating. It amazes me how drunk Americans get after one cocktail. I know, right? But vodka up there is so cheap. Wait, where? In America? Isn't vodka cheap everywhere? Except maybe in Sweden. Or whatever Scandinavian country that is where you have to pay so much for alcohol. I think it is Sweden. You should get me and KF to come to a drunk painting video with you. It would be total chaos. Would it be? Would it not be chaotic if you were sober? I doubt that. Hey, Sunlock. Imagine that 90% income tax, then the booze costs 20 a glass, so you can't even drown your sorrows. I know, right? I think we had that song playing for too long. I think I would just buy some potatoes and make a stew. Not out of potatoes, but you know what I mean. Or upgrade your internet. No! Wrong priorities. this is a bit too gray. Definitely need to move more into the white. But it's always a bit tricky. Whenever I start a new paint job, once I'm kind of set on what colors I want to use, the next time I try to paint them, I always find a recipe that is either smoother or just looks better. Okay, that did not work the way I wanted to. I guess we can leave it. And then it just looks a bit different. Typically means it looks better than before. So I'm kind of screwed. There's some Poles and other Eastern European people in this alternative alcoholic beverages industry in Sweden. I see how it is. Are you going to Kirill's workshop? Wait, who? Oh, is he in Poland? Hamburg. Wait, did you ask me? Hamburg is like 12,000 kilometers. No, not 12,000. 1,200 kilometers away from me. I was at a Kirill workshop 3-4 years ago, maybe, I don't know. It was in Vienna. It was quite okay. Didn't learn as much as I thought I would. But you know, if you still have a lot to learn, I can only recommend it. The stuff that I especially liked was, well, I guess The stuff that I didn't like that much, I mean, it was nice to see someone do faces in oils and then try to, but I just quickly realized I don't want to do oils. Because it's just too much. It feels, again, doesn't feel like painting to me. It feels more like using technical paints, and whenever I have that feeling, I don't want to. Yeah, the fun kind of goes away. What was interesting was the texture stuff, and that's it. We didn't actually do more. So whenever he does, I guess, acrylic faces, that can be interesting. Texture is always interesting. And I guess non-metallics. He only did metallics with us back then. I don't know, I think he didn't want to share. You know, obviously I'm talking out of my butt, but it felt like he didn't want to share the way he paints his non-metallics for a long time. Maybe he changed his mind about that because he realizes no one else can reach it anyway. And why does this look like a metallic right now? Yeah, I just want to build more value, and then I'm going to see whether or not I need more of a medium tone in there. Yeah, sorry for the music repeating. I guess there's only that many songs in this royalty-free playlist. It is what it is. Where did I buy the magnifying glasses? Conrad Electronics with a C in the front. They have a couple of... They are everywhere, we found out. I don't know if they are in the US, but they are everywhere in Europe. If you don't have a store like that, then you can buy very similar ones at Amazon. They're just not going to be as light because they typically have LEDs and fancy stuff like that nowadays. If that is not an option, then just try to find a local electronics store, and maybe they have something that is more similar. Are you allowed to record these workshops? Nah. I would not let you record my workshop. I mean, the thing is, you do attending these workshops gives you so much more than watching a recording of the workshop, because he's going to look at your stuff and then he's going to correct you on certain things and so on. So, don't know what good a correction would be. Wait, a recording would be compared to having the correction. Yeah, exactly. Look for ones without the LEDs. It's weird when people are secretive about the processes. Yeah, I guess. But again, it's going to be super hard. I mean, there's like 2 or 3 people that will probably be able to pull it off. And I'm talking about in the painting community. But he has that process perfected so much. I have Optivisor. I don't know an Optivisor, sorry. Oh, paired to be farther away. So I am right. You know, I'm that far away from the miniature with the glasses, and there's only like exactly the same distance from my eyes to the glasses, so I'm like that far away from the glasses, from the miniature with my eyes. I don't think there is an option that it's more like 5. Don't think there is an option like that. You know, where you can be like 10 or I don't know how much would that be, like 20 centimeters away. I don't know. It's more like 5. Don't think there is an option like that. Okay. Yeah, it just looks so different. I made an oopsie. Let's see, how can we rectify that? Maybe make everything a bit brighter. And then work on the transitions again. Yeah, it would have been a good non-metallic metal, but it's not a good white. Let's face it. Keep some of the darker area here. Epitaph 91, thanks for the follow, welcome to the community. So much drama on the playground. Here's a similar that makes sense. How do you cope with the brush? I mean, the brush is off to the side most of the time. It's not like I'm painting with the tip of the brush. I'm always kind of painting with the side of the brush. So it's fine. Why is this not dark? Shit. Is that too dark? Oh my god. No, it's not. Just looks different for some reason. I feel like I ruined everything. But it is what it is. Definitely have to get brighter, or it doesn't just doesn't read as white. Alright, that little detail. Hey, howdy. What is productive? What would be fun is not productive. Overheating camera for the win. You should get me to come. Oh, right. That is true. Yeah, from Prague it's not that far. It's like 1 hour by train, maybe. I am in Vienna, that's right. Might be in Prague next month. I think of going a bit further. Always wanted to see Vienna. This is damn far. Yeah, from Prague it's not that far. It's like 1 hour by train, maybe 2 hours, 1.5 hours, something like that. I think. When I was living in Prague, I never managed to get to that train. Nice. It summed up such around 99. What? PLN? Was he the them or Reds? I'm not sure about the swarm mechanic. Clean your brush makes me nervous. Why clean? What? Oh, okay. Yeah, it's going to need some brush, so after this. I just don't want to, you know, it's either I paint like that or I don't paint at all. Found those magnifying glasses and even ordered some. Boom! Where did you find them? Maybe you can link it to the people that were requesting it. I don't know who was asking for it. Don't remember. China. Okay. AliExpress. Okay, I think we're getting closer. This was a mighty detour. Maybe I should just start Rider, but then again, this starting really dark kind of has an interesting finish to it. Even when we lose most of it in the process. Hey, Hugh Hefner. Hey, Hugh Hefner. It's the secret technique to get more stiffness into the bristles. I have headgear, but with the body, so it's covered from top. Frustrates me because oh, okay. Yeah, that kind of sucks. The focus on them I have is about 15 to 20 meters from face, so that's nice. Oh, interesting. I didn't know you could get that. I mean, I guess it's just optics, but yeah. You see the new Sisters of Battle sculpts they just released? No. If you could link them, that would be great. What do you think of the Kingdom Death miniatures? It seems to me that some of them might really suit your painting style. So, Kingdom Death miniatures, I hate a lot of them, but I also like a lot of them. The thing is, I tried to order a couple of those that I like, but they were always sold out, so eventually I stopped bothering, because I can't really be bothered to set my alarm clock or, you know, to install a browser plugin just to know that, oh, yeah, maybe tonight they should stay up. So, or, you know, get up to be able to buy them. So that's why I haven't really bothered to get one. But yeah, I mean, sure, I would like to paint some, but I also don't want to go through the hassle of ordering them. But I totally agree. I can pretty much get the same zoom with my own eyes, okay. With glasses I get the same side, just further away. I can't have just one eye. Uh-oh. There's a mini painter who's blind on one eye. Who is that? Blind aggro? Okay. Interesting. I've not seen him yet. Let's see. I'm painting one while watching this. Which one are you painting? I'm pretty sure I know it, but I probably forgot. I have a bunch of the pinups if you want one. Oh, I have one of the pinups. I might have the very first Kingdom Death miniature. That one pinup that they put out. I have that one. But yeah, don't worry. It's while I would like to paint them, it's no big deal if I can't paint them. But thanks for the offer, obviously. Are those faces better? It feels like someone needs to teach them how to sculpt noses. Yikers. Oh, smart move. So I don't know. I mean, I guess there's not that much you can do with them.
Who is your daddy?
Wait a second.
What does he do?
Colin Penny, thanks a lot for joining the Patreon. Much appreciated. Enjoy the PDFs. Don't forget to join the Discord. There's a link below the stream. And if you have any questions, just ask away. The community is always trying to help. Looks like Nick Fugue with hair. I've been struggling so hard to get some, yeah. They're a pain in the butt to get. Actually noted that quite recent. Now paint without my glasses, it's a whole different world. Faces still suck. Yeah. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh wow, make it bigger. By making it smaller, okay. I see how it is. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess it is Sisters of Battle. What else? What else can you do with them? But I don't think I'm going to paint any more of them. That one sister that I'm painting right now is going to be the last one. Yeah, again, I guess there's only so much you can do with them, but yeah. Mine will all have helmets or gas masks. I see what you're saying. The one wearing the full helmet, that one has a good looking face, yeah. The face helmet, or the helmet version also looks weird for my taste. Gas mask option might work. Curious. Oh yeah, that's true. That might be the best option. I also like the flamer lady. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. They are what they are. I don't think you can make that much different stuff with them. I just hope, honestly, I hope those are... Well, then again... Some of those sculpts look a bit weird. Let's see. Okay, no, they have that on all the models, so it's just plain a sphere that connects with the slower part of the armor. It still kind of looks, it just looks odd. I wish they were putting a sharp line here at least, and maybe have some interesting stuff happening here. But okay. And what I don't quite get, did they try to have that element here just connect to the sole of the foot and then have these two parts separate? I don't know. I just kind of wish they had that through here, or they would do something back here with the heel, just some more detail. This almost looks like it's not finished, but I guess that's just what they intended to do. Okay. It just lacks some detail back here. And if they just put a line here like they did up here, I think that would look better. But I guess it is what it is. I'm just gonna kill the music because it's just playing over and over again, the same thing. Yeah. Sigmarine legs, I guess. If they sculpted the face as well, the Outrage Brigade would be out in force, claiming it's oppressive to potatoes. Okay. Okay, so we still have some work to do. While I do like the blue in there, it needs a bit more of that yellow. But yeah, we're probably going to do that next time. I need to get ready for my phone call. How did you find the face on that Amalia model? Actually it was okay, I think, or it is okay. I can tell you more once I painted it, but I haven't really painted it yet. I need to familiarize myself with the volumes, as you know, the sophisticated painter dudes say. Trying to find a well-painted ringtail vixen to suss out how to paint part of the leg. Okay. That told me nothing. I have no idea what you said. Yeah, it's really small, but I think it's gonna be okay. I'm probably going to go for something simple with maybe some contrast in the cheeks, but we'll see. But yeah, guys, I have to disappear. Thanks for keeping me company. Yeah, I'll try to be back sometime this week. Yeah. Check out all the stuff below my stream. I have a website, I have a Discord server, I have a Patreon, and all that jazz. Check out my YouTube if you haven't yet. It helps, you know, clicks help, support helps me doing this, you know, more often and so on. Thanks a lot, Memnor. Thank you. Oh, who else? Oh, and KF, thanks for the 65 bits. I only just noticed. Yeah, guys, I'll try to be back. See you this week, hopefully. If not, next Monday.